And welcome to Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. We're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. I know that sounded a little different, didn't it, ladies and gentlemen? After 15 years, you think, oh, maybe he'll change the song. No, we're going to stick with this. We are so thankful. I'll be honest with you, because we use such a small amount of it, I don't think it's a problem in regards to the song Flesh and Blood by Mary Black. We've been using it, folks, for 15 years, different parts of it and so forth, and it fits because that's what it's all about, sharing our stories. And our guest today on the program, who's going to share his story with us, and it'll be musically as well, is rejoining us or joining us again after I did a check, Bob Hillary. It's been about 2.5 years. We talked to you shortly after the pandemic started in June of 2020. Welcome back all the way from the UK.
All the way from the UK. Yep, sunny UK. Yeah, really good to be back, Richard. What a crazy few years. We're still alive. Here we are.
I am glad to hear that, as am I. It's interesting. I don't know about you. I initially, in June of, was it 2020? I did get the single shot J&J, and then what was it, last summer or late spring? My wife came down with it, but nothing major or really severe. Obviously, living in the same place, I had to test, and of course, I came up positive for a while. I have to tell you, the most challenging part for me was the test result, and it just ticked me off because it then suddenly limited, and again, that was self-imposed, but it limited my mobility. It limited my ability to get around. And of course, we made the necessary adjustments here at the radio station. As soon as I tested negative, I felt free. You know, it was funny. It was really funny. But here we are. I don't know if, as of our conversation, the pandemic has been lifted and we're just in a bad situation now or what have you. But you have been continuing your work and your efforts through your music to make this a better place by the release of your latest, do we still call it an album, Bob?
Yeah, let's call it an album. It's an album. Albums haven't gone anywhere.
It's called Sacred. And
It is.
tell us a little bit about this album in terms of, I guess, when did you start realizing I need to put out something new? This is what I want to call it, and I need to put in some songs, or were the songs kind of already put together and it just kind of came together?
It came together in a very beautiful way, a very powerful way. It felt like actually the whole process, it really genuinely felt like something way bigger than me was calling the shots, and that was an extraordinary feeling. Long story short, like all of us were, I don't even want to talk about the COVID and the lockdowns. We're all so over it, right?
Yeah.
We've all had enough. So let's keep it positive. But yeah, harkening back, I was there in my house, locked down for so long. God, it was horrible. And what's a man to do when he's not allowed to leave his house? Well, he writes songs, damn it. Lots of songs, and songs with really a lot of emotion, because it was really difficult at time, and I'm sure that all of your listeners will remember how difficult it was. So I basically, as an artist and a musician, what we do really is we channel emotion into songs, into music, and then we bring it through into albums that people then buy and people then hopefully love. That's why people love music, right? Because it's emotion channeled into a format that people can resonate with and that can dance to and listen to and cry to and wiggle to, and um, so yeah, long story short, I got a whole bunch of really amazing songs about very strong topics, like being locked down. And like one of the songs, the third song is called Alive. And it was really my expression of like, the chorus is like, I want to feel alive now. But I'm locked down in my house and I'm not allowed to leave. And yet my spirit wants to fly. And so a lot came through. And I also, as a sensitive person, as a musician, I part of my thing is that I pick up on I pick up on what's around me. I can pick up what's kind of in the field, so to speak. And what was in the field was a lot of frustration, a lot of angst, a lot of like, what the hell is going on? A lot of confusion. And I brought through this album, which is very clear, actually. It's a very clear album. The energy and the music and the words and the musicianship and the whole thing is just it's a very clear, positive sound, which for me is a sign that it's something greater than me. And that's kind of what my message is all about, actually, at the moment. It's like really using my music to help people to understand that there's something bigger than us. And we've all got different names for it, right? Like God and Source and the Creator and Allah, Buddha, but essentially it's the same thing. And it's that we're spiritual beings, every single one of us, and we're living on a place on planet Earth, that I feel we're being called to become and step into a more spiritual way of being on the earth. And that's what my album's about. That's why it's called Sacred, because I believe that it's time to treat the earth like it's sacred, and to treat ourselves actually like we're sacred, because we are. We just have forgotten it, a lot of us, he says with his hand on his heart. So yeah, that's what I'm all about right now. Healing and helping and guiding people through these times, because they're still really strong, and I don't think they're about to let up.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you that our listeners are going to be able, and our viewers, because we're on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, Richard Dugan Tell Me Your Story, where people can watch these interviews. And we're going to feature a couple of your songs in the context of this interview, because I think it's important for people to be able to see see and hear what you're putting out these days.
Brilliant.
And we will continue with our conversation here. Bob Hillary, bobhillary.com. And I'm going to double check that, because I want to make sure I have that right. It is bobhillary.com. We'll be linked to his website. 2.5 years since the last time we talked with Bob, all the way from the UK. And it's really a pleasure to have him here on Tell Me Your Story.
Life is good when we're living connected. Life is so good when we're living in the flow. So let's kick back, try to find a new direction. This is it, yeah, here we go. Yeah, we're laughing again. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to the land. Drop meditate and listen to the sounds of the earth, giving guidance every day. Pay respects to the north, to the east, to the west and the south. Now give it out, take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to the land. Give it out, yeah, take it in, let's bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, yeah, take it in, let's bring it back to the land. 'Cause I am breaking free from the chains that surround me. I am breaking free from the things that keep me down. Yeah, come on now, break free from the chains that surround you. Come on now, break free. Yeah, now I am breaking free from the chains that surround me. We are breaking free from the things that keep us down. Yeah, come on now, break free from the chains that surround us. Time to break free for you and I. Give it out, take it in, let's bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, yeah, take it in, let's bring it back to the land. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to the land.
You know, after 15 years, ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, Richard Dugan, is excited to bring you these programs. And Bob Hillary is our guest, and he has a new album. It's called Sacred. And we're going to feature some of the songs, including Sacred, in our program today. So I hope you will stay with us as we continue talking with Bob. Let me ask you, in terms of your own psyche, if you will, your own soul. You know, we promote on this program having people spend time during the decade of perfect vision, the 2020s. Now, when we had you on last, it was the year, because we were in the year 2020. But now it's the decade, the 2020s, and going within and listening to that still small voice. And obviously, a lot of people, millions across the globe, had the opportunity to spend time doing that. With your inner life, if you will, and that still small voice, did you have to spend much time going within, or was that voice just constantly wanting to come out because, like you say, you didn't have a whole lot else to do?
I agree, and I think we're all. I don't know if your listeners will agree. I hope so. I think you'll all agree that we've come through stronger as a result of this experience. You know, actually, I have my favorite song on the album, which is called "I Don't Mind the Rain." Beautiful song, really strong. The chorus is, "What doesn't break us, what doesn't break me is making me stronger."
Yeah.
Um, and that's my favorite song on the album because it's so when I listen to it, I'm like, wow, I really channeled that feeling of like, wow, this is just incredibly flipping hard. This is so hard. And, you know, I have no choice, but I either break or I either break, what's the phrase? I either sink or I swim, you know,
Right.
and you know, without getting heavy, a lot of people committed suicide in that time. Like we lost a lot of people because a lot of people just couldn't handle it.
Right.
And bless them, and wherever they are now. I nearly lost my mum. Thank God she's still here, and she loves that song. I don't mind the rain because um, yes, really, you know, it helped her. A lot of people, I think, they don't know how to access how they feel. It's just been so relentless, and you know, without banging on, you know, music is such a way to help us find those emotions and access them and you know a lot of people out there, me included, I mean, you know, I think anyone out there will feel like they want to have a bit of a good cry right now, like, you know, really hard work, like, wow, you know, and music can, I don't know why I'm talking about crying, but it's real, it's a hard
It is.
time,
It
you know,
is.
and
It
music can
is.
help us to let go and to cry and shit. Maybe I need a good cry. And not right now on the show, but you know, it's like it's good that we can get in touch with the emotions of what we've all been going through.
Yeah.
And this is really what my album is about. This is what's motivated me to create it. And now it feels so good to release it because there's a lot there. You know, we've all been through a lot, and um it feels amazing to release this music now, now that we're sort of like kind of out of that chapter, hopefully, and we're moving into, I don't know, I think we're moving into a very, very, very interesting, a very exciting, a very scary place on planet Earth. I think that we are being forced to change. And I think we talked about this in our last interview, didn't we, Richard? We were talking about my book, Simplify, and
Yeah.
how, like, you know, we're I feel this is part of my spiritual journey is that, you know, I can increasingly, the more I go down this spiritual path, the more I feel that there is a grand plan for all of us and for the planet. And it's really intense what's happening right now
Yeah.
because we're witnessing the end of an era, and that era has been called the patriarchy. Don't know if you guys are familiar with this term.
Hmm.
It's the era of like male dominated rule. And we've been in that era on planet Earth for a very long time. Kings in charge of the subjects, the people are all the subjects, that's us, you know, the people at the top, the kings, queens, they have all the money, and we have none. And that, and they're in charge, and we're not, and we have to do what they say. That, my friends, right now is breaking. It is breaking. Can you feel it? It's epic, and it's also scary because what's happening, I believe, right now is that we're moving into that old system is breaking,
Hmm.
and why it's a pretty continues to be quite hard work for a lot of us is because we don't know what's going to replace it.
Right.
But we do know, most of us, that it ain't bloody well working for us anymore. And most people on planet Earth are feeling this right now. Trust me, you're not the only one.
Yeah.
And it's a bit scary because we're heading into an unknown future. However, this is why I'm also like bringing this sacred spiritual message through in these times, is because I believe our challenge is to surrender to this process that is unfolding on planet Earth right now, and let go, and let ourselves be taken, down a new path that is going to be so incredible, so amazing. We're going to see the most extraordinary changes happen so fast, by the way, guys. You just wait. Like, even in like 2, 3 months' time, we're going to see such massive things shifting around money and bills. And I don't know, I can just feel it coming, and it's really exciting. And that's also what's motivating me to put this music out into the world right now, to help and to guide people through this time, because it's not going to be easy for a lot of us. But I reckon our challenge is to stay in excitement instead of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can stay in excitement of like, oh, wow, like everything that we hate about planet Earth is basically disappearing, and we're beginning a new chapter, all of us together, like all humans, and it's incredible. And I can feel some of you going, what's he talking about? I'm like, this is real, trust me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Richard, can you feel what I'm
I
talking
will
about?
tell you that when, for example, when the pandemic hit, in March, actually, what was real interesting was it was on St. Patrick's Day here in the States, which was an anniversary for me of when I first started working full-time for the station that I'm currently working for. But the thing that hit me was, number one, we're doing something different. You know, Einstein said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, we're doing something different. This is exciting. And then the other part of it was, and we don't even know what opportunities lay ahead for us. And there were people who actually, I don't want to say they took advantage and raked in the dough per se, but they took advantage of opportunities that came their way to help themselves and others. And that's what was so extraordinary. And but there were so many other people who, as you've already stated, they were locked in the fear. And it's like, hey, now remember, they told us that we had to stay home, but they didn't say we had to stay inside. But everybody thought, oh, no, I got to stay inside. I can't go outside because, you know. And it's like, not everybody now people living in New York in the high rises, little more problematic, I understand. But, you know, get creative. But I just saw the opportunities, even those that we didn't know were going to come about. And that, to me, was very exciting. But, folks, we're talking with Bob Hillary. He is a folk singer-songwriter. He's an author, earth protector, a permaculturist, who makes music that is earthy, soulful, and simple. We're going to talk a little bit about Live Simple and Simplify, and his book as well, and his first album, Nature's Pace, and his current album, which is Sacred. We hope that you will stay with us here on Tell Me Your Story.
The patriarchy is collapsing. One way of doing things on planet Earth is coming to an end, and another way is just beginning. It's an exciting time. It's a scary time. It's a challenging time for all of us. Can we step up? Can we move forward? Or will we be caught and dragged back down by what is collapsing? Time to choose, methinks. Time to choose what stays and what goes. It's time to honor the sacred.
War life is good when we're living in connection. Yeah, life is so good when we're living in the flow. So let's kick back, try to find a new direction. This is it, here we go. Yeah, we're laughing now, so give it out, yeah. Take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to drop from the top, yeah. Don't feel it stop, or don't try to control it, no. Celebrate, yeah, take a break, yeah. Meditate and listen to the sounds of the earth, giving guidance every day. Pay respects to the north, to the east, to the west and south now. So give it out now, take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, just bring it back to the land. Get out, take it in, just bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, just bring it back to the land. 'Cause I am breaking free from the chains that surround me. I am breaking free from the things that keep me down. Oh, come on now, break free from chains that surround us. Time to break free for you and I. So give it out, take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Give it out, take it in, just bring it back to the land. Give it out, take it in, bring it back to the sacred. Bring it out, take it in, bring it back to the land.
I'm Richard Dugan, your host, and it is absolutely a pleasure to have Bob all the way from the UK. Bob Hillary, singer-songwriter, and many other things as well. Author of a book, Simplify. Bob, let's talk a little bit about this aspect of Simplify, because even during these last few years, and again, I'll just put it in that context, okay, we all have gone through a phase where, you know what, I'm home, so maybe I'll go out and I'll clean out the garage, or I'll clean out the storage shed, or I'll at least start here with this drawer in my bureau, my dresser, what have you, or my desk, just to start, or clean out the pantry, and so on and so forth. There are things that I really don't need, and I really haven't had the time in the past, so what the heck. And then a lot of people have written books, in your case, of course, writing songs, and letting the emotion flow onto the paper, if you will, or into recordings and so forth. By the way, I was looking at some information about your very first album, Nature's Pace, and how you recorded that in Scotland, all analog, which I thought was really very interesting, considering digital's been around for quite a long time. But we all felt that urge to, we felt like we needed to do something. In your case, it was music. Do you feel that maybe in the grand scheme of things, the divine plan, if you will, that these last 2.5 years were actually orchestrated by the divine, regardless of the cause, the reason, for us to do the very thing that we've been doing, and that is to start to do some maybe inner organizing and some inner cleanup and so forth?
Is that a question?
That is the
Okay.
question. That is the question.
Yeah. Well, I really think I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, I just what I get in response to that is, yeah, we've been forced to go there, haven't we, guys? You know,
Yeah.
like anyone out there not been forced to go there in the last 3 years? Like, holy crap, right?
Yeah.
Like we have not had any choice. We haven't been given any choice. The universe, the creator, whatever you want to call, the bigger God, whatever.
Picture. Yeah.
She, it has been pretty harsh with us all, and I don't think there's a soul out there who's got off free. And I'll tell you what I see right now. I see people. I'll give you my mom as an example. Like my mom, she's been so sick. She had all the vaccinations. She got so sick. She had a stroke. She lost the ability to speak, and we nearly lost her. She got down to like 6 stone, scary. And at one point, I went over to my parents' house, and she looked. I was like, she's gonna go. We're gonna lose her. And I had this moment sitting by the fire. I grew up on an old farm in England, and she was sitting by the fire. Oh, I get a bit teary now. And she looked like rake thin, and she couldn't speak. And oh, I'm welling up now. Anyway, what are you doing, Richard? I had a moment where she reached out and she touched my hand. This is in the time of COVID where we weren't even allowed to touch each other. And my parents hadn't let me touch them for 2 years, like no touch, no hugs, nothing. We're a really close family. And my dad was really stringent, and my dad was like, "Don't touch mum, like she's so sick." And she anyway, fire was going, and she reached out and she touched my hand, and she squeezed my hand, and we were both just weeping, and I just said, I just don't want to lose you, Ma. I think I'm going to lose you, and it was just the most beautiful moment, and I left, and I actually drove my van the next week to Portugal because I couldn't handle what was going on with the awareness that I probably wasn't going to see my mum again. Anyway, long story short, a lot of grief. Really, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I made this album, because I had to channel all these feelings. A lot of musicians have made fantastic albums from this time because there's been so much emotion, so much undealt with feelings, right? Anyway, long story short, now my mum is like back to a healthy state. She's talking again. And when I see them, which is often because there's a lot of love in our family, she just looks so strong. She's found something through this time where I can see a strength in her. And she's like, I'm going to get through. If I can get through that, I can get through anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel maybe a lot of us deep down, we've actually found that right now. Even though we might not realize it, even though a lot of people are still experiencing a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, if we actually look inside and really go in, I reckon that everyone out there, there's some kind of like a strength. Like, I just got through that.
Yeah.
Like, if I can get through that, I can goddamn well too. I can get through anything. And I feel, not that I know jack shit, excuse my French, I know some things, not much. I feel that strength is what's going to get us through these coming times. And we're going to continue to be pushed into our strength as we witness the dying away of the old system. We're going to have to find reserves, people. And it's exciting. And it's really scary.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about you guys out there, but right now I'm varying between like complete terror to like incredible excitement on a sort of like hour to hour basis. I'm like, I'm falling apart. I'm terrified. My little inner boy is like, fuck. I'm sorry. And then my kind of warrior adult is like, let's do this. I've waited my whole life for this moment. I don't know about you guys out there, but I've always just really disliked the system that we live in. Even when I was like 10 years old, I was like, what are we doing? I'm like at school and I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. I just don't want to do it. And at 40 years old now, I'm like, right, now it's time to like get rid of all this nonsense and really start making the good stuff happen on planet Earth. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing my music. That's why I made this album called Sacred, because I'm stepping into my mission on planet Earth right now, and it feels real good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bob Hillary's my guest here on the program. His latest album is Sacred. He's got, is this your third or fourth album?
This is my fourth album.
Fourth. All right. Well, we're going to feature some of the songs throughout this program. We hope that you will stay with us as we talk with Bob Hillary. BobHillary.com here on the program that you like to listen to hear about our guests and what they're doing to make their lives and the lives of people around them better. This is Tell Me Your Story. We're Tell Me Your Story. I'm Richard Dugan, your host. We're talking with Bob Hillary here on the program about his music, about his the work that he's doing, about his life as well. And Bob, I know you've been through the ringer the last few years, to say the very least, not to mention the multiple lockdowns that the UK has gone through. I can't say that we've had multiple lockdowns, but we've had a continuation, or it's just like a continuance and so forth. But again, one of the things that we have been focusing on this program has to do with really making sure that the process of staying optimistic. You know, and it's really funny too, because I have really tried hard to do just that, to stay as optimistic as is, shall we say, humanly possible. And I myself, in just this year, 2022, that we are strangely enough about ready to wrap up, I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, this was probably the worst year ever. You know, 2020 and 21 were okay, but this year, because starting in January, I lost a dear friend of my wife's and mine. He died at about the age of 95. Then in February, lost a dear friend on one of the programs that I produce here at the station. Then in March, at the beginning of March, my wife lost her sister. She is the only surviving member of her family.
Wow.
Then I lost my eldest sister at the end of March.
Oh my God.
And I thought, okay, well, what's next? But when I lost my sister, as a matter of fact, I was given a call. I got the call, and I had an interview that morning, and I debated whether or not to do the interview, and I went ahead and I did the interview just the same. And actually, it went very well. But I didn't have that sense of grief that most people would have, really, until I went to the memorial a month later. And I had the tears, and I have to say the memorial was the most beautiful expression of laughter and tears, the greatest balance of laughter and tears that I have to say was well done. It was well done. I have to applaud my brother-in-law and niece for basically the memorial that they put together. I know it was not an easy thing to do, but I look at this year and it's like, well, yeah, that happened and that and that and that and that. But all of that is part of life on this planet. And it isn't that I don't care. I absolutely do. But that's the reason why I take the perspective that I do, that this is just the way it is, because a lot of people get stuck in their grief. And I understand that. And I'm not being critical by any means. I'm not being judgmental. If you're there, you're there. I just happened to find a way where I was able to work into my grief and then out the other side, because I understood that my sister, she isn't really gone. I mean, she's just not in her body. She's just not there in the physical. I can't just pick up the phone and call her. But now I can just talk to her anywhere, at any time, about anything. And I have to wonder, in your life, granted, and I can certainly see how much you love your mother and how connected your family is through the emotion you shared with us earlier. Did any of that go through your mind? Yeah, I don't want to lose my mom, but she isn't really going to be gone. I just won't be able to touch her anymore. I won't be able to actually call her or look into her eyes and that kind of thing. Have you taken on a new perspective about our collective mortality as a species through all of this? And I mean, here in the United States, we've lost over 1 million people to related or direct effects, if you will. I'm not going to use the name, Bob. But you see, it seems to me like with all of the changes, that seems like a natural occurrence in one sense, that we would begin to realize that, yeah, I'm going to miss them. And at the same time, it's okay, because not that they're in a better place, but that they're not gone. They're still here with us.
Yeah.
Talk to us about
Yeah.
your perspective.
Well, I tell you what came up initially when you were naming that, and this is actually really beautiful that we're touching on these there seems to be a bit of a theme of tears and emotion and grief in this interview, which is really beautiful. I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about, so it's interesting that this is here right now. I trust that that's going to touch you guys listening and watching out there, because this is not easy territory, right? This is these are the places that most of us aren't comfortable going to. So actually, it's really beautiful that we're going there on this show, and all respect to Richard for his show and holding that space. It's not easy to talk about this stuff. From my understanding, and as a spiritual person, and with the intuitions and guidances that I kind of receive, my understanding is that we're going to lose a lot of people on this earth in these times, and it's quite hard to talk about this stuff. But what I hear and I read and I feel also is that this might sound a little harsh, but this is what I kind of feel and believe, I think, is that it's not everyone's journey to... I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the term the new earth, but we were talking a few minutes ago with Richard and I about like the ending of this patriarchy, where we're in a time where we're witnessing the deconstruction of the patriarchal system on planet Earth, where we're, we are the slaves and they are the rulers and the kings. They have all the money. We have to work our asses off. We're witnessing all that right now. And so as that changes and does its thing, as that dissolves and rearranges that old system that we've all hated forever, right?
Yeah.
Like forever. Hello. Who likes going out and slaving all day? Not I, sir. I'm sure not you. What we're actually stepping into, and if you ask anyone who's even vaguely into astrology, the astrology of these times, they will confirm this. We are moving into a new time on planet Earth. People are calling it the new Earth. Call it what you will. We're moving into a new chapter on planet Earth, and it's really exciting. It's really needed, right? So needed. Like, who's had enough of wars? Anyone, anyone want a bit? Yeah, like, anyone want a bit more war? Like, I mean, Jesus,
Yeah.
like this planet has seen war for so many thousands of years, and we are genuinely and authentically moving out of that chapter where men start wars for money. We are moving away from that, and it's amazing. And I won't bang on, but relating this to many of us losing loved ones right now, from what I understand, it is not every soul's journey to come through into this new chapter. So many souls right now are leaving on the earth because it's not their time. They're not meant to come through into this new time. And I know that might trigger some of you, but I also feel it to be true. Some souls just it's not their path, and they're choosing to leave.
Yeah.
And actually, what's beautiful about this is they're choosing to leave. So sometimes we think that death is actually... God, we're going deep on this. Cool. I had no idea we were going to go into this area. you know, we had this idea that death is something just happens to us, that we're victims of it. But actually, I think that's a very limited view, and I think we're way more powerful, and we're way more special than that. And our souls actually are on a not on an intellectual level, but we're very intelligent spiritually, and we know. And many of the souls that are dying, that are leaving us right now, they're choosing that. So their souls are going, it's my time to go. I'm not as a soul prepared for what's coming. And so I'm stepping out. And yes, like Richard says, they're also leaving physically, but they're not leaving spiritually. So I'm lucky enough, and I hope that may continue for a long time, but I'm also prepared that I may lose my parents at some point. Well, my dog. Yeah. No, my dog there.
Yeah. And you're not alone. You're not alone, because my dad's 91. My mother's 88. My dad is I think heading down that particular road more so than my mother. My mother just really is a strong woman, and I have so much respect for them. 65 years married, incredible.
Wow.
So yeah, I agree with you, but I also would add to that too that there are those who are leaving, choosing to leave, not only because they're not prepared, they but at the same time, some of them are leaving because they've completed whatever task it is that they came here to do.
Yeah.
And why should I stick? My job's done.
That's it. There we go. So actually, it's a celebration on some.
It is. I've even heard it said, Bob, that those of us who are here now, who choose to stay, I heard someone say that we'll call it the spirit world, if you will, the other side, if you will, or that dimension we can't see with our naked eye, actually looks upon us as heroes because we have chosen to be here at this time, going through what some will call this turmoil, this chaos, and so forth. And we're here to try to, counterbalance that for the masses, so to speak, those who want to hear and who need comfort and who need support and encouragement and so forth. I don't know that either of us would consider ourselves heroes. We're just here doing what it is that we're here doing. And if we can help people, through these programs or through your music, hey, more power to us, I have to say. Bob Hillary's my guest, and we are talking about the work that he is doing through the music that he is putting out. Sacred is the latest album, as you are hearing some of that music during this program, which is called Tell Me Your Story.
Beckoning arms, saying, "Come, brothers, come, sisters, lay down your arm and open up your heart and don't fight the fight. All you gotta do is just realize that the only fight there is the one within. And if you get my meaning, then you do the healing. The world starts to take on a different light. The world starts to take on a different shape. We're looking at the world through different eyes as it reflects back what's inside us. The world starts to take on a different light. The world starts to take on a different shape. We're looking at the world through different eyes as it reminds us what's inside us now. I'm standing here making space for the light to come through. Yeah. Yeah, from the earth up, we're gonna bring about our feet to take out your shoes and shake out your feet. You can lay down your arms, cause there's nothing here to fight as we stand here, ready to step into the light. Yeah, connection. Yeah, this is what I like. Yeah, we're coming back to source, coming back to the light. An answer isn't staring at your screen, it's lying in your dreams and waiting in your dreams. The world's got to take on a different light. The world's got to take on a different shape. We're looking at the world through different eyes as it reflects back what's inside us. The world's got to take on a different light. The world's got to take on a different shape. We're looking at the world through different eyes as it reminds us what's inside us. Yeah, we're standing here making space for the light to come through. Yeah, we're standing here making space for the light to come through. Yeah, we're standing here making space for the light to come through. Yeah, we're standing here making space. Yeah, yeah. I am love, and I am here. Yeah, I am love, and I am here. I am love, and I am here. Yeah, 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 I am love, and I am here. I am love, and I am here. Yeah, I am love, and I am here. I am love, and I am here.
Story. I'm Richard Dugan, your host, and Bob Hillary, bobhillary.com. That's where we're at right now, all the way in the UK. And I have to say that I have a strong affinity for the British Isles, and specifically Ireland, because I have May only be a couple of percentage points of DNA from Ireland. I have a strong connection after visiting and so forth. Bob, let me ask you about you've talked about your parents. Are any siblings, and how is the connection there in that regard?
Well, I just seeing as you're talking about the UK, I'm also really honored to be on your show and like loads of Americans watching this. I just thought you guys might appreciate seeing a bit of England.
Well, that's
This is
beautiful.
right,
I love the
this is where I
green.
live.
Love the green.
It's actually very autumnal, golden, beautiful right now. I just thought
Yeah,
I'd show you,
gorgeous. Thank you
from
for
here
that.
in England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. The clouds in the sky. Let me ask you a quick question on that. When was the last time you had rain there in the UK where you live?
Today.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I don't mind the rain,
yeah.
that's my song.
Well, gee, I wonder where that song came from, huh? I love
Totally.
the rain myself. The rain, the snow, the cooler temperatures. Um, is there a particular place physically, a place that you go when the mood strikes you to start to put down words on paper for a piece of music that you feel inspired and prompted to write?
Um, is there a place I like to go? Generally, I find that my songs come when I'm in my camper van. Um, I spend a lot of time in my camper. I'm a total free spirit. So, but I find, inspiration comes from nature. Actually, it's so beautiful right now. Look at this.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, this is also. Oh, Christ, my phone's about to die. I have to run back and get charged. Give me a second. We're making this interview very
Technology.
exciting. It's okay. It's going to be
Technology.
good. It's going to be good.
Yes.
It's going to be good. It's not going to die. Not
No
going to die.
worries. No worries.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
All right.
Okay, we're back. Are we back?
Here we are. We never left. We
Okay,
never left.
we're back. Okay. Focus, Bob. Sorry, I'm getting carried away with the fairies.
That's all right. Musing. What about your
Ah,
your your,
um,
your muse? Your muse. Is there a muse in your?
Nature. Yes. I don't know. Nature is where my music comes from. It always has done. I don't know. I was lucky enough to grow up on a farm in like deepest rural England. Um, but like my thing is like I don't know. I think my soul chose to grow up on a farm because I my medicine really is earth. Um, I don't know. This is my thing. It's just I love to be connected to the earth,
Hmm.
and for me, that's just all about getting into nature. And I really am not great with phones and technology. They really irritate me. Besides having an interview on the phone, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we are living in a very increasingly digitalized society, which scares me a lot. And this is also the really a very big drive for me that's driving me with my music is to really bring through earth connection um, to as many people as humanly possible at this time because I feel like there are forces out there that are attempting to disconnect us from our power and from the earth. And I just love the earth and I just love nature. And when I see her being abused and wronged, I get upset. So this is a huge part of why I do what I do is to empower people through music. This is also why my album is called Sacred because I feel like we're being challenged right now as a species, human beings on planet Earth, to treat our Mama Earth with respect, like a sacred being that it is, that somehow we forgot. But like, it's how absurd is it that we've forgotten that we live on a sacred Earth? That's absurd. Like when did we forget that? When was the forgetting? When did that happen? I don't know, but that's what's driving me. That's why my album's called Sacred because I
I think
I think that's what we've got to do right now
And I
stepping
think
into
that
new
a lot of
time.
people are starting to help, like yourself, to help us to remember our connection and that the earth is sacred and that we need to be not subjugators, but stewards. Big difference in those words. Big difference.
Yeah, nicely said,
Yeah.
Richard. Yeah, I mean, we have a responsibility, and frankly, I think it's gonna get harder and harder for people to not treat the earth with respect. And I feel like that these are the changes that are coming, which are going to be epic, but they may also be quite difficult for many of us who are used to living a certain way, where we can go and choose from 30 different types of fish on the supermarket shelves. We've got used to having endless choice
Hmm.
with no thought to the consequences. And I do believe that with the food shortage thing coming, that's actually Mama Earth's way of going, okay, you guys aren't going to get to do that anymore. You can have maybe a few types of fish, but not 30 or 40. That's taking the mick, like, and it's the same with the oil price, the fuel price rises. I feel as that's part of the creator's intelligent plan, that the creator's gonna make it harder and harder for us to keep raping the earth for our mindless consumption. And these are some of the shifts and changes that we're going to see happen very imminently, that we on some level need to prepare for. And there's no need to go into fear with that, but all we really need to do is start to get used to living with that little bit less. And that's good. Like, less stuff equals happier mind equals happier human.
No,
You
I
know?
agree. I agree with you there. Yeah. We're talking with Bob Hillary, and he has a new album out. It is called Sacred, and we are featuring songs, music, videos as well for our YouTube viewers of the music that he has created in the video format, which is a wonderful thing because it helps us to better understand our place in the universe and to remember that it is all about the sacredness, if you will. And we hope that you will take the time to listen to the music. Go to bobhillary.com and find out more about Bob and the work that he does. He's a singer-songwriter and a lover of the earth. And quite honestly, I talk about this not incessantly by any means, but on occasion about, for example, climate change. And, people want to talk about, the science, and some believe it, some don't. And I say, I don't care about the science. You can throw the science out for all I care. I just have one question for you. Don't you think we ought to clean up our home? And I know a lot of people are getting tired of me saying that, but don't you think we ought to clean up our home? And you do that like a lot of folks who have the brick and mortar kind of lifestyle with the white picket fence, and the 2-car garage and a chicken in every pot. And, you sit there and you wonder, do you clean up your house? Do you spend like a Saturday or a Sunday cleaning the yard and picking up and so forth and so on? Well, yeah. Why? Why do you do that? What's the point? Because you're just going to mess it up all next week. Well, because I like to live in a clean place. Well, the planet's your home too. So, Bob, I want to thank you so much for sharing your time with us here on the program. I really do appreciate it.
But
I'll
this
tell
has
you
been
what.
awesome. I've really enjoyed our chat. It's great.
Well, I have too, and I want to let our listeners know that bobhillary.com is the website. He has music that we have been featuring throughout this program. We certainly hope that you will go to his website, get more information, share the information that's there, because he is one of many who are out there trying to make a difference, trying to make this a better world. And one of the things that I do say in regards to that, Bob, is it doesn't mean that this world is a terrible, awful, icky place and we got to get the hell out of here. No, this is an incredible place to be living. But it can be better. It can be better. And so to that end, we want people to to get that and understand that it is something that that can change. Doesn't have to stay this way. And if you feel that there are in the world today, then you need to stand up and say so. And also be considering how you can make your part of the world more equitable, if you will. And I think that that's extremely important, Bob. And I thank you so much for joining us here on Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. It's just been a real pleasure to have you on the program. Before we let you go, however, I have 3 final questions I'd like to ask all of my guests. You may have answered these sometime during the interview. However, we are going to ask you them directly. But before I do, I want to remind our listeners that Tell Me Your Story is on the radio broadcast on this station at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Sundays, Monday mornings at 1 a.m. And, of course, we do stream live at those times, again, with the podcasts at SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, and many other locations. And if you'd like to support the work we're doing, we'd be very grateful for that support. Whatever you can offer is fantastic. We have PayPal and Patreon accounts for your security as well as ours. And also, we'll take energetic support as well. So whatever you send our way, thank you. I thank you so much 3 times over. All right. First question. Who is Bob Hillary?
That's your question?
That's the question, Bob.
Oh, man. He is, oh, that's tough. He's a guy who's really, really excited about stepping into and creating a totally new blueprint on this planet right across the whole chessboard. But I'm starting just in my little area. I'm not taking the whole thing on, but yeah, that's me. That's who I am.
Okay. Your next question. Yep. What is it? No, I'm not going to ask you what the meaning of the universe is. What is it that you want to or would like to achieve through the work that you're doing now?
I'd like to achieve passing on this world in a considerably healthier state to my children when they come. Yeah. And for all children to come. Yeah. Something like that.
And finally, what is your life's purpose?
Bit of a theme here. My life's purpose is to I was going to say to be a change, but actually, and then I'm like, my purpose is to be happy. Maybe both those. To be a happy change maker. Yeah.
Well, Bob, I want to thank you again, Bob Hillary, for joining us on the program. And I encourage people to go to your website, bobhillary.com, and find out more about you and the work you're doing, the music that we are featuring on the program today. And we thank you again for joining us. And we thank you for listening to Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. We are giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. And until our next broadcast podcast, love to lol.